Welcome to your dumbbell progressive overload muscle building strength. The goal for this workout is to build muscle, but also increase the weight that you are lifting. So increasing the challenge on our body so that we're always progressing, moving forward closer to our goals and building muscle while we're doing it. So our goal is to do a warm-up round of 60 seconds on of 7 exercises at the normal weight that we're using. Then I'm going to shave off 10 seconds. We're going to do the same 7 exercises, but we're going to increase that weight, aiming for 8 repetitions, adding on 2 to 5% of our weight. All right, pause here. Get your kinetic balance fitness warm-up in to get our body into good alignment. Otherwise, we're listening to those tones, and we are going to go into our first exercise explanation. So first, you're going to collect weights for a squat with a dumbbell close press. So this is a shoulder press where our palms are facing. The dumbbells are going to come up to our shoulders with our wrists over top of our elbows. We're going to sit down into a squat, stand up, push those dumbbells overhead, keeping the shoulders down and back. You're coming with me in 3 seconds. We have 60 seconds here, so squatting, our toes are pointed straight ahead. That means second toe forward, in line with the knees and hips. So when we squat down, everything is in nice alignment. We stand up by squeezing those glutes, and then we push overhead, rotating those shoulders, feeling those shoulders rotate, which means that we feel a stretch along the outside of our armpits. So your ears should be stacked over those hips, over those shoulders, over those hips. So my arms should be covering my ears here. All right, we're aiming for anywhere from 8 to 12 repetitions. You want to have a nice controlled tempo. 2 count down, 2 count back up and squeeze, 2 count up, 2 count down. We're always in control. We're down to 10 seconds. We have a 20-second break to switch over weights for a lunge supported row for our back. Awesome. Shake it out. You're feeling that in those shoulders. You can go to a little bit heavier weight. We have a lunge supported row. 1 dumbbell, same leg steps back for that lunge. I'm holding it in my right hand. So my left leg is forward. I'm supported on that leg. My chest is tall, my belly button's in. We're going now. So normal weight that we use for something like a dumbbell row, whether this is a quadruped row, we pull towards that hip and there's no rotation through our core. I want you to pay close attention to my shoulder. All right, as I pull towards my hip, my shoulder stays down and back. I'm not shrugging up by pulling too close to my chest there. It's closer to my hip. I'm also stopping my arm once I pull. I don't want that shoulder rotating forward. We want to keep that shoulder down and back away from those ears in healthy alignment. I'm feeling this work along the outside of my armpit, potentially the front of my arm in that bicep, as well as the back of my shoulder. We're down to 10 seconds. We want to be keeping count here, 8 to 12 repetitions. However many we do to this side, we need to be doing to our other side when we come to it later. Good. It's shaking out that arm. I'm going to find the pair on that weight, and we're going to go to a static lateral lunge. Now, the way I have this planned, whatever arm you pulled with, we are going to use that same leg for this static lateral lunge. So toes straight ahead, feet wide, feet slightly staggered. We sit down into that leg, stacking those toes, knees, and hips. Stand up by pushing those hips forward, squeezing that bum. Now, depth varies from person to person here. I have a lot of mobility through my hips, and I'm able to sit pretty deep while keeping that leg nice and straight and toes straight ahead. The goal here is my chest should be parallel to my shin. So what I don't want to see is this, sitting those hips back, but sitting that chest forward. All right, we want to keep the chest up tall, keep that spine nice and neutral. My chin is tucked, my head is back. This helps unload the upper back, so we're not pulling this way and feeling all of that tightness in the neck and upper back and shoulders. 6 seconds. Remember, we're keeping count, keeping it even between the sides. Beautiful work. All right, we're gonna hit the floor for a declined chest press. So dumbbells come to my thighs, palms are facing, I then lie back and bend my knees. My palms now face my legs, hips go up, and it's a big press up and together. Come with me. So my wrists are stacked over my elbows, making me have a nice strong push up towards the ceiling. When I come down, my dumbbells are in line with the middle of my chest. I don't want to be too high here. That's really hard on the shoulders and chest. My glutes are tight, my belly button's gently pulled in, my toes, knees, and hips are in that nice straight line. And we're focusing on that controlled tempo. So 1, 2, down, tap, 1, 2, up and squeeze. All right, feeling this in the chest, the back of the arms, and the front of the shoulders. Exhale. As you push up and squeeze, engaging that core. This is a circuit style workout, so muscles that we use in the next exercises are relaxing during these main exercises. So now we're gonna flop. We're gonna go back to that lunge supported row using the opposite arm. So I'm using my left arm now. That means my right leg comes forward. My left leg goes back. Notice my feet are hip width apart. I have all 5 toes on my back foot pushing through the floor. I'm inhaling or I'm exhaling as I pull up. That's the harder part. And then I'm inhaling as I come down with control. So this isn't about releasing and dropping it down. We want that core to stay nice and stable. My chest is up tall. I'm looking about 3 feet in front of me. Again, I don't want to look straight ahead because what happens is that head position causes our shoulder to shrug a little bit. It means we carry a lot of weight in that upper back and neck, an area where a lot of us already feel tight. So really focus on that head position. Pull that chin back long and tall through the crown of that head. And remember, we're keeping count even between sides. So if you finish those repetitions a little early, make sure you have a controlled tempo. But otherwise, take a breather. We've got that static lateral lunge. This time, left leg, since that's the arm that I was pulling with. Feet wide, toes straight ahead. My one foot is slightly forward, just slightly. Here we go. Sit down, we stack those toes, knees, and hips. Stand up with a nice solid squeeze. All right, one thing I commonly see is people turn their foot out this way and go this way for that lunge. We want to be forward. We want to train along that outside of that thigh and hip. The knee kind of sits, tracks forward. We don't want it to go wide. We don't want it to go in. We want to keep it stacked right in line with those toes. This back leg, ideally it stays straight. Sometimes it can bend, but we want to make sure that if it's bending, that it's not pulling us this way so that we're not in alignment here. Feeling this in the thigh, but also along the inner side of the thigh, the outside of that glute. Ooh, baby, 5 seconds. And in those hands, of course, from holding these dumbbells. Beautiful work. We finish, we recover with a quadruped leg raise. I have a small ball, pause here if you need to go get one, to help us hold that nice neutral spine. We're on our hands and knees, hand under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're just lifting our legs. All right, so reaching long and strong, lifting our leg. You want to keep a neutral back. This means that if you lift your shirt and you found those bony hip bones and those dimples in your back, that they would be perpendicular to the floor. You can actually line your pants up with these and watch yourself in a mirror or set up your camera. And then we have a gentle pull in on our belly button here. So we're supporting our spine. and we're reaching long. Now, if you have a hard time holding the ball on your back here, you can switch to an opposite arm, opposite leg, all right? Or you can take your legs out of it and just do an arm raise, pointing your thumb up towards the ceiling. The goal, though, is long and tall through the crown of the head. You don't want to be pulling forward. That gentle pulling on that belly button, supporting. Beautiful work. That is round number 1. That was your 60 seconds. We're increasing those weights, guys. Aiming for 8 repetitions at that higher rate. And now we're pushing. We're warm. We're ready to rock. We're reaching those goals. We've got that squat dumbbell close press. Second toe pointed straight ahead. Sit down into that squat, pushing overhead. Shoulders is probably the hardest area to progress, guys. So if you feel like as you push overhead, I'm going to come closer so you can see my shoulders. If you're pushing overhead and you feel like you're shrugging up this way rather than pulling down and back, go back to that normal weight. If you feel like you push overhead and you have to arch, all right, go back to that normal weight. We don't progress by forsaking our form. What we do is we progress by building muscle slow and steady. Proper form to help prevent injury. Last one. Embracing the burn and the challenge with good position and form. Remember, we're increasing that weight. So we're going to that lunge supported row. I'm going to start with my left arm this time. Keeping count. In 3 seconds, you're coming with me. Same leg back as that hand that's holding the dumbbell, pulling towards that hip. And we check in. What we don't want is rotation through that core. I'm exaggerating, but you get the right idea, right? We don't want to rotate that way. We don't want to shrug up, and we don't want to pull forward and have that shoulder collapse. All right, we want to stay long and strong. Pull towards that hip, always in control with that heavier weight. Feeling the challenge. We embrace the progression. We embrace the burn. We sit in the here and now, knowing that we're getting that much more out of it. 3 seconds, guys. Yes. Shake out the hand, because even that forearm is working as we increase that weight. We're going to go to that static lateral lunge. Whatever arm we used, we're doing that leg. All right, because that other leg that was forward was working, holding us up. So how we progress things in a circuit matters. Now remember, second toe pointed forward. That's not our big toe. Small adjustment. Second toe pointing forward. We sit down, knee tracks in line with those toes. Big push up and squeeze. We only go down as deep as is pain-free, okay? Or at very most, a 4 out of 10. Now, that doesn't mean that that knee can't feel weak. Sometimes it feels weak. It's hard to transition from the down to that up and squeeze. But we're going to embrace that challenge and thank our body for getting us 4 more seconds. Beautiful work. All right, we hit the floor. Decline chest press. Now, keep in mind, you can use lighter weights on that chest than on those legs sometimes. Dumbbells to those thighs. This is important as we progress that weight. Lie back, bend those knees, and you're loaded. All right, here we go. Up and together. Now, if you have any kind of pinching, pulling pain in the front of the shoulder or any kind of pain in your elbow, doing this exercise, simply rotate so your palms are facing and go that way, all right? Elbows can still come about 45 degrees from the body. Wrist still stays stacked over top of the elbows, but by rotating those hands, it's going to take some of that strain off of the shoulder if you have any kind of pain here. And we're remembering to breathe. Slow, controlled down, exhale, push up and squeeze. Now, it's entirely possible that as we increase those weights from anywhere from 2 to 5%, right? That you sometimes fail under the heaviness, okay? Meaning you just aren't able to finish that push. That's all right, but the next round I want you to drop back down, hit those repetitions with a little bit slower, more controlled. Opposite hand, lunge supported row. You know it, we've only got 3 exercises left in this circuit to be more than halfway done, guys. Exhale as you pull up, nice slow controlled down. Now you know you're getting that weight right when the last 2 to 3 repetitions are challenging. You might feel like that muscle says no, and you're gonna say, yes, I can. You're gonna breathe through it. You're gonna focus on keeping that shoulder down and back. You're gonna focus on not pulling, all right? We stay in the zone with good form, and you know there's only 8 seconds left as we push through or pull through, if you will. In that round, I could absolutely feel that in my left leg forward since we already did that leg on the lunges. So remember, opposite leg for that lateral lunge. Toes pointed straight ahead. If I turn to the side, you can see that heel is slightly forward. Here we go. Sitting down, big push up and squeeze. Think of it as a drive forward on those hips. You're pushing those hips forward to stand back up. That also means that you're driving down through that foot. Remember, the knee is stacking straight over those toes, not letting that chest dip down. Only sitting as deep as we can while keeping that chest up tall. That's going to depend on range of motion through your ankle, through your hip. 10 seconds, keeping it even, focusing on that controlled tempo, that alignment on those toes, knees, and hips. Yes. And we recover with your quadruped leg raise. Or if you're losing the ball on the low back, by all means switch to a bird dog or just that arm raise. All right. Ball on that low back, gentle pulling on the belly button. We push back through the toes. The foot that stays on the floor, you're pushing back through the toes, not pushing down through the floor. The chest on those hands, we are kind of punching down through the floor. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see the shoulder blades touching here. We want to be punching through, long and strong through the crown of that head. Now, if I turn a little bit to the side, by pushing back through the toe, you'll notice that I don't really shift, all right? Sometimes we have a tendency to shift to the side because our hips are a little bit weak through here that keep our good alignment. So we want to push back through those toes, really focus on squeezing the bum. 3 seconds. That is round number 2. One more round at 50 seconds. Aiming for that same weight. If you didn't feel like that round was challenging, you can go up another 2% on those weights, especially in the legs. Here we go. Squat, dumbbell, close press. Sitting down, standing up, pushing overhead. I'm going to show you from behind so you can see. When I push overhead, what I'm doing is I stay tall and long through the crown of my head. Look at my shoulder blades. You can see them rotate. That's a really important piece to keeping the shoulders away from the ears. It also protects our shoulders from injury. It keeps us from hurting in our upper back and neck. But it takes practice and training. So if we feel like we're compensating here, like we're going up towards our ears, you can go to that squat with a scaption. Thumbs pointed up, arms wide. 2 seconds. Yes. Feeling it in the shoulders, right? All right. 1 dumbbell. We go to that lunge supported row. I'm going right hand this time, so I've been switching back and forth. That means my left leg is forward. My right leg is back. All 5 of my toes are pushing through the floor. I mention this because if I show you, right, what happens if I go like this way, you see how my hips are no longer squared? Whereas I rotate this way, I'm now engaging my whole hip complex to stabilize me. Whereas if I rotate this way, I'm allowing my knee to kind of rotate in, right? You see that? So we want to stay stacked, even, toes, knees, hips. These little things go a long way to supporting good form through our squats and through our day-to-day life. And those little things train our body to support proper position. This prevents long-term injury. Yes. Get that pair or increase that weight to whatever you do for your legs. We've got that static lateral lunge. Feeling this progressive overload. Guys, are we burning? Yes, we are. And we're loving it. We're embracing the challenge. That's what we came here for. So sit down, toes, knees, hips. Big push up and squeeze. Nice and control. We're always in control here. We control the dumbbells. We don't let them control us. We control our thoughts. And in this moment, we're positive thoughts. We're thinking to ourselves, I am grateful for my body to get me here and allow me to release my stress, work towards my health and fitness goals, build muscle that helps me live the life that I want to live. 5 seconds, big drive up and squeeze. We're nice and toasty. Declined, chest press, shaking out those hands, but being grateful here. Then we get to lie down on the floor and catch our breath. Dumbbells on those thighs. Lying back, hips up, 5 seconds. Are you ready to push? We're pushing those dumbbells up. Nice, slow, controlled down. Be mindful of your body alignment. We don't want those hips up too high, that arching of the back. You may feel stronger there. All right, we engage a little bit more of our big, strong back muscles, the lats, when we arch our back. But we are supported with a gentle pulling on our belly button so we aren't arching. No pain in that low back, nothing in that shoulder. If so, if you have low back pain, can sit those hips down on the floor and focus on keeping that spine nice and neutral. Knees still stay bent. If you have that shoulder pain, remember, rotating those hands so those palms face. Awesome job. We have the other side now for that lunge supported row. So for me, that's my left arm. Feeling the challenge, guys. We're embracing it here. Stepping that left leg back. Hands supported on that leg. Pulling towards that hip. Remember, we're long and tall through the crown of our head. It's easy to either lift our head up or pull forward. You might feel that in the upper back and neck tomorrow. Sometimes that's hard to tell. Was it from the lift or is it from my day-to-day posture, right? Because we tend to have that chin forward position. Guys, I'm feeling the burn. Right along the outside of my armpit, along the back of my shoulder, even down into my hand. That grip strength, it's real. I like to call them T-Rex arms. 7 seconds. And in that right leg, that right glute, stabilizing. Oh, shake out the hands, shake out the legs. It's a real thing. Getting blood flow back into those hands. Bend at the knees, pick up those weights. Static lateral lunge. Same leg, so that left leg. Here we go. Sitting down deep, big push up and squeeze. Now, you know what's coming next. It's just that quadruped leg raise. You know, this is our last heavy exercise. I know that when we do our leg movements, our heart rate climbs. They're big muscles, strong muscles. It's normal to get out of breath. Our heart has to work harder because we have to fuel those muscles with oxygen. And our heart has to pump harder to get blood there. Blood and oxygen, yeah? So, normal to have that heart rate climb when we do our leg movements. 5 seconds, embrace it. Challenging that body to build and grow, working towards those goals. We recover quadruped leg raise. I love quadrupeds, guys, because they're vital for good posture. They support our spine and core, not only when we lift, but in our day-to-day. What you'll find is that gentle pull in on our belly button. It activates a muscle called the transverse abdominis. It's our stomach girdle. All right, it supports our spine when there's no ribs. It keeps our low back from getting sore, keeps our pelvis from tipping and swaying. And women, it can help protect our pelvic floor. So use this as an opportunity. Gentle pull in. As you go up and squeeze, you can do a Kegel as well. These muscles are related and they talk to each other. And if you've had kids like I have, it's a real thing. 3 seconds. You know it, you love it. Guess what, guys? One more round. One more round. We're digging deep. All right? We go back to whatever weight we had for our shoulders. Either our new weight, as long as we're hitting good form, right? 40 seconds. 6 to 8 repetitions. Yes, you can. Here we go. Sitting down deep. Big push up and squeeze. Now, it's my mistake. It's supposed to be 40 seconds. I must have missed this exercise on our timer. So, if you're feeling strong, shoot for those 8 repetitions. You have a minute to do so. If you feel like you're compensating because you're going for that higher weight, shoot for those 6 to 8 repetitions and then allow your muscles to recover. Get a drink, shake out those arms. Remember, toes, knees, hips, nice straight line. I want you leaning or sitting, knees going in or out. We should stay in a good alignment. Glutes tight, belly button in as we push overhead. You're down to 10 seconds for this extra round, and this extra time. Boy, am I feeling it in my shoulders, guys. Oh, baby. All right, this next one is correct on the timer. All right, switching over to that heavier weight for that lunge supported row. I'm going left arm first. Are you ready? 5 seconds. Breathe. Get your mindset ready. It's 40 seconds. The first couple don't feel too bad, right? You feel strong. It's not until that accumulation, till we hit those reps, those last 2 to 3 repetitions, we really start to feel it, right? We feel it building. We feel those muscles engaging. We check in on our form, all 5 toes on the floor, feet hip width apart. We pull controlled, okay? We aren't pulling. We aren't bouncing into that row. We focus in. Yes. Static lateral lunge. Going to that left side. Keep in mind that if your hips or legs are uneven, we always work to the weaker side. So that we're always, if we increase the weight on a stronger side here, that side's always going to be stronger. That side, that weaker side, if you lift to that side, it will catch up. All right? We fix asymmetry with asymmetrical work. All right? So we always go to the weight that's challenging for our weaker side, even if it doesn't feel as challenging for our stronger side. All right? and we focus on that good alignment and form. If you're feeling it on that weaker side and you have to drop weights now, do it. But you have to do the same thing on the opposite side. 3 seconds. 6 to 8 reps, guys. This is our halfway point for those hard exercises. Yes, you can. Dumbbells on the thighs, lie back, declined chest press. Yes, you will. Whatever this workout looks like for you, you're digging deep. We don't compare our weights to others because fitness and strength is you versus you. All right? Either way, you made it here. You are working towards your goals. You are challenging your mind, your body. You're getting deep health, emotional, and you've got me for support. We've got 9 seconds left to embrace the burn, embrace the challenge, embrace the hard work our body is doing for us today, and this opportunity to build deep health. 7 seconds, lunge supported row. Last 2 heavy exercises. Same leg back, supported on that leg. Big pull towards those hips. Remember, chin tucked, head back. We're long and strong through the crown of that head. We're engaging our glutes, supported with that gentle pull in on that belly button. We exhale as we pull up. Inhale as we release back down. You've got this, guys. I know the front leg is burning through the glutes, through the thigh, through the back of that leg. The back is burning. The core. You're getting a little bit of everything. You got to shake it out. You know, one more. One more. Right leg, static lateral lunge. Wait to pick up those weights if you need to. Now go get them. 3 seconds. Bend those knees. Here we go. Stacking those toes, knees, and hips. Big drive up and squeeze. If you're having a hard time with pain in these movements, please reach out to me. There could be a myofascial release and a stretch that can help. A lot of times if we're feeling pinching or pulling, it's muscle tightness. Every once in a while, there's something deeper wrong, right? And it never hurts to get a doctor's opinion. But muscle tightness can definitely be painful sometimes. 3 seconds. It's also completely normal to have your joints make some noises, as long as they're not painful, right? My joints make all kinds of noises. There's grinding and popping that happens. That's why whenever I work out on my own, I turn on some music. All right, quadruped leg raise for the finish, guys. Long and tall through the crown of that head. Pushing back through those toes. Gentle pulling on that belly button, supporting. And we're breathing. As we work, as we squeeze the bum. We push back through those toes, engaging the glutes, stabilizing our pelvis. We keep that ball on our back like a champ. You're down to 10 seconds on the home stretch. Finishing this workout, knowing that we set a new limit for ourselves. We pushed our boundaries today. And now we can breathe. We hit that targeted cool down and stretch here. All right, so I like to stretch a lot of similar muscles. These muscles have a propensity to get tight, which causes pain and eventually can cause injury as well. Toes pointed straight ahead, feet wide. Step 1 foot slightly forward. We lean towards that leg. We squeeze the bum, tuck the hips under. If you're somebody doing those lateral lunges and you feel like you're stretching through here, this is the muscle you need to be stretching. This is the muscle that's tight. All right. If you don't feel the stretch, you can slide that leg out just a little bit more. all right? But it's not a push forward. We shouldn't be arching our back here. It's really a bum, tuck under, squeeze the glutes, hip rolls towards that rib. A very focused, targeted stretch goes a long way. I always hold them for 30 to 45 seconds. If you don't feel that stretching sensation, calm down, please pause. Stay in it a little bit longer. Otherwise, go ahead and switch sides with me. Notice if one side feels tighter than the other. That muscle is telling you something. We should listen. We should stretch it. Even outside of our sessions, stretch it night before bed. When do you have time for that relaxation? Let your mind wander, relax. Listen to that body. It can be meditative, but also preventative. All right, so listen to that body, check in. Are you tight? If it's released, come with me. We are going to the front of those thighs and hips. Back foot flexed under. We're going to squeeze the bum, tucking that hip towards that rib. You can place a mat, pillow, or blanket under that back knee. And then we reach that hand on the same side. We can reach that up towards the ceiling or even add a small lean to the side. We only add that reach and lean if we feel that increase in stretch. All right. Oh, beautiful. It feels so good. You feel it right in the front of that hip, down into that thigh. So that front hip muscle, these are our hip flexors. They get really tight, whether we walk, run, or sit a lot. Either way, they get really tight because they're overworked, all right? Or they're functionally shortened from sitting all day. So listen to them and stretch them out. They tie into our low back, which can lead to low back pain. Nobody wants low back pain, all right? Same thing, opposite leg. Again, checking in if we're a little bit asymmetrical here. Oh, I notice my left side is much tighter than my right side. And it's normal to sometimes have things kind of flip-flop, but don't forget to flex that back foot. You're gonna hear my timer go off here in a minute, but I want us to stay here just a little bit longer since we did that progressive overload and we increased that stretch. Really important to stretch out our muscles. As we get stronger, our muscles get shorter, they get tighter, and tight muscles lead to bones moving out of place, pain and injury. So we want to stretch those muscles out as we're getting stronger, but we don't want to overstretch them. It's a fine balance. Child's pose, toes together, knees wide. Reach those hands away, shoulders away from those ears. Rolling the shoulders down and back, we press that chest towards the floor. Nice big stretch to the outside of the armpits, into that low back. If you have any knee pain here, any mobility issues, you can do them on a raised surface, still rounding those hips so that we get a nice round in that low back. Shoulders away from the ears. Nice big stretch. Oh, big deep breath in, guys. In through the nose, expand the belly, expand the ribs. Exhale, sink deeper. Oh, one more, guys. I just want to do one more. We're going to go to a hamstring kick. Legs nice and straight. We lie back. We bend one knee. We take the opposite hand. It wraps around the front of the leg to the outside back. All right, and then we're kicking, like we're kicking over the opposite shoulder. Think of a soccer player doing like a bicycle kick if you're familiar with the sport. As you kick up, you're going to feel a stretch through the outside back of the thigh, potentially down into the calf. That stretch calms down as you kick up, and then relax the foot back down. All right, we want to feel that calming sensation where we no longer feel that stretch in the back of that hamstring. Go ahead and switch sides. Big kick on the opposite leg over the opposite shoulder. It's about a 10-degree. If you are somebody that tends towards hamstring soreness after increasing weight, hamstring like cramps, doing this kick can go a very long way. If you're somebody that tends to have SI joint pain, hamstring kick, okay? Whether you feel like your hamstrings are tight or very, very flexible, this actually physically calms the hamstring down so that it doesn't pull on our hips and glutes or pelvis. All right, that can lead to low back pain. Take a big deep breath in. Fill yourself up with positivity. All of that hard work that you gave today. Exhale, blowing out any of the negativity, anything that held you back, knowing that you did this for you. You took a step forward on your journey, whatever that looks like for you, and you did it. You increased weight. You pushed yourself. Even if it was for half of the workout, that is always a success. And even if you just came today to get a workout in, that is success. Celebrate it. Embrace the burn. Live with deep health. And please let me know if you have any questions, any comments, anything that I can do to help you reach your goals. I'm here for you. Keep up the amazing work, and I can't wait to see you again next time.